Warning, this video isn't for anyone under the age of 16. If you're under 16 years old, please leave the video now because we do get into some adult type shit. Thank you. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy CharlesISanimeWorld, and welcome to my review of the greatness, also known as Shokugeki no Soma. But since this is an anime review, we're going to call it by its anime name, Food Wars. And like always, guys, this will be a podcast style review. So if you need to take care of anything else, open up another tab and just have me playing in the background. Okay, so here we go, guys. And also, the difference between my review and other reviewers is that with my review, I give you the review from a manga reader's perspective without spoiling you, okay, and showing you off the differences between the anime and the manga. So let's go. So this episode 11, takes place between chapters 307 all the way through chapters 312. And I have to let you know one thing, guys. We are on the final volume of Food Wars, 36. That was the final volume of Food Wars. And with the ending of this episode at chapter 312, we are on the final volume, which means, guys, it won't be too many more episodes left. Now, at first I said it was going to be 12 episodes, but seeing how the pacing is going and knowing what they haven't covered yet, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be 13 episodes now. At first I thought it was 12, but now that this episode is over and I can see like what's left to cover, it'll definitely be 13 episodes. Now, let's talk about this episode. The anime took Asahi's right-hand man again out of everything, because again, Arena wasn't kidnapped, so we never had a chance to see Asahi's real true right-hand man in the anime. Also, guys, when Soma presents his dish to Arena's mother and asks her if she wants to try it, in the manga version she asks for a bucket as well because she knows that Soma's dish just can't be as good as Asahi, so she asks for a bucket. But in the anime, that doesn't happen, not at all. She actually just accepts the plate, saying, well, I tasted his opponents, I might as well taste his instead. But there was no mention of a bucket, and I think that kind of sucked a little bit. The anime took out the scene where Soma remembers past members of the Elite 10. When he was preparing his dish and he was remembering everything that his master taught him. There was this little brief scene where, you had a flashback of the Elite 10, and all of his experiences with them, but they decided to take that out. Now, guys, I will say one thing. The anime really, really toned down the foodgasm reaction of Asahi's dish, with Charm and everyone else, when they was tasting the dish. Basically, they really, really, really toned it down in the anime. And I know that's a real big shock, but for some reason, JC Staff wanted to do that. Also, guys, any flashback that you saw within this episode was rushed the hell out of. Let me tell you guys something. The flashback where someone was talking about how his mother, cooked fried rice, the flashback that you saw, guys, that was rushed to hell and back. When I tell you that flashback was at least like 5 to 4 pages long, and they only covered the very last page in the anime, it was completely and utterly rushed. Anytime you saw a flashback within this episode, it was rushed. So just know that much. Overall, it was a good episode of Food Wars. It really was this week. I have to admit, JC Staff did a good job. There was a lot of things they changed, a lot of dialogue that was added because, again, like I said, there were characters that weren't even involved in the from the manga that weren't even in the anime, like Asahi's right-hand man. He had a lot of dialogue, but they took that out because he was never even introduced into the anime because Arena was never really kidnapped how she was in the anime. In the manga. So again, guys, overall, it was a good episode. I honestly did enjoy it for what it was. And like I said, now that I know where things are headed and we are in the final volume, I can use pacing and I know exactly where next week's episode 12, is going to end. And I can see now that they're going to combine, for the final episode, they're going to combine the final chapter of the regular series of Food Wars and combine that with the final chapter of Lee Dessert Chapter 3. That's what they're going to do with the final episode. They're going to take the ends of both parts and put them together to make one full episode. And that's what they're going to do in 13. 12, we're going to get the winner of Asahi and Soma versus Arena. Now, us manga readers know how that's going to end, and I already know where they're going to cut that off at as well. All I'm just going to say is the moon. Okay, that's not really spoiling because you have no idea what that means. But when I say you see the moon, then you know what I mean when I say the moon. So again, that's probably where that's going to cut out next week for episode 12. And then, like I said, they're going to combine the last two episodes. I mean, the last chapter and the bonus last chapter together to make the final episode of Food Wars. And I kid you not, guys. I think it was around about 4 minutes and 59 seconds in when I saw that Lee Dessert Chapter 2 content. When I saw Alice, and I was like, oh no, please don't tell me they're going to try to squeeze in Arena's father and everything that he has to say within this episode. Because at first I thought that, I was like, don't do this, JC Staff, because you're going to have to extremely rush it if you decide to do this. And they didn't do it, so I was happy about that. But hey, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much. That's been my review for this week. I will catch you guys next week with another review. And hey, sayonara, suckers.